How's it going, everybody? Josh Phillips from Spawn Fly Fish here. Today we are going to be tying up a jig, not for fly fishing, but a lot of the same components that we use in tying flies you also use in tying jigs, so we're going to showcase that today. And before we do that, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Alright everybody, so this is the finished product. We're going to hop right into that. Alright, so we're going to start off with a 1/2 ounce jig with an owner 3/0 hook. This is a great size for catching coho here in Western Washington. Start things off, we're going to take a piece of Bling rabbit strip, fluorescent pink and purple from Hareline. And we're going to cut off about 2 inches, maybe a little bit less. We're going to tie that on the bottom facing down. So we'll start our thread wraps here and work our way to the back of the jig. So this will be the first jig that we tie with you guys, but it won't be the last. We see jig tying as a great transition into tying flies, and it's just also an awesome way to get behind the vise. Whether you're fly fishing or fishing light tackle, it's always great to get out of vise and create something unique that will catch fish. All right, so we're gonna tie this Bling rabbit strip upside down at the back here. And we're using a vise 140 power thread to get these wraps on. Strong thread, great for tying jigs. So there we go. And as you can see, that fluorescent strip is gonna show underneath. It's gonna work out really, really well here. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is take some Spawn Simi Seal, Coho Kool-Aid. And this stuff is fantastic for coho fishing. Purple and pink are two of my favorite colors to fish for them, and this combines the two. So as you see here, I'm just clumping that in there and bailing it back. This is also an opportunity for those of you that want to do a dubbing loop. You can do that right there and work your way forward. When I'm fishing these jigs, I do tend to get snagged up, so as always I'm going to be tying this relatively quick pace in anticipation for less of heartbreak when I do lose it. All right, and we're going to do that again, moving forward up the shank of the hook. Now we got 2 clumps in there. We're gonna add 1 more. And then we're gonna get after it with some legs and Marabou. Perfect. So this is just kind of building up the body, adding some bulk to the back section of this, and it'll allow the foundation of this fly to be really set. All right, so then we're going to add our Marabou here. This is a fluorescent Steelhead purple from Fish Hunter. And we're gonna tie that in right where the semi-seal ended. Making sure those fibers go back, and the flow of the jig will work really well as you're twitching this in your favorite coho river. Don't worry too much about some of these fibers getting trapped. We can always brush it out afterwards. For purpose of this video, try and make it as neat as possible so that it looks good on camera. Cool, there we go. Tie that off. Sweet. There we go. As you can see, this is already starting to come together. If you wanted to, you could maintain the purple all the way up. You could switch it out. But I'm going to add a couple different levels to this jig here. So after that purple Marabou's tied in, I'm going to take 3 of these barred rubber legs from Hareline, and I'm going to tie them in on each side here. Couple wraps, fold it over along the side there. That's exactly where we want it. And then I don't like these legs to be longer than the Marabou, so I'm going to cut that right like so. And now for some UV fluorescent hot pink Marabou. We're going to pick out a little bit of one of the nicer feathers here, as these fibers we want to flow back across this jig. So there's a good one. And we're going to tie this in right on top of these legs. Pull that tag end off. You can also cut that with your scissors. And again, we're going to wrap this feather forward. I do really like Marabou jigs. There's a lot of other materials you can tie in, but I love the movement in Marabou, especially when you're jigging it. All right, we're going to tie that off here. Quick and dirty way there. Pick out some of these fibers. Starting to come together here. We're almost done with this. So we're going to build up a little bit of a thread base here at the end. Really make sure those materials are set and aren't going to come loose. And then, before we add the last ingredient, we're going to take a little bit of head cement, or in this case, Zap-A-Gap, going along the thread here. Wrap it in. This is going to hold all those materials in place. And then I'm going to cap it off with a little more Spawn Semi-Seal collar here. And I don't need a lot. This is just to add a little more profile to the head of this jig and really blend these colors together as it comes off that jig head. whip finish, and you are ready to go fishing. And we can pick this out a little more. Don't have my bodkin with me, but we'll make it work here with the tip of our whip finish. Just picking out some of those loose fibers, getting that jig to look as good as possible. So there we go. That is a Coho jig. Like I said before, if you're tying, whether you're using a fly rod or a conventional rod, we want to be there to support you in this passion and journey. And if there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll do our best to help. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this, something a little bit different. If you want to see more of this, let us know. If you want to see less of this, let us know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, and have a great night.